Well, hi, I'm Dave Lockett with the UFC, and first we'd like to thank New Orleans and the Smoothie King Center for the tremendous hospitality. I think we had what we can all agree was a great night of fights. We actually had 10 first-round finishes tonight, which is second all-time in UFC history to the 11 that were recorded last November during Rockhold versus Bisping. So congratulations to all these fighters and everybody who fought tonight, because it was a tremendous card, one of the best I've seen. The attendance tonight was 6,231. The gate was 621,523. Fight of the night goes to Ortega versus Tavares. Yeah! And then we have two performance of the night bonuses, one for Sean Jordan and the other for Dustin Poirier. So they each get $50,000. Tough decisions because everybody fought really well tonight. So again, kudos to all these fighters for really putting on a great show. Definitely must-see TV. We're going to start up with questioning. I'll first start off with John Morgan. Go ahead.
Thank you. Start out with Dan, please. Obviously, congratulations on your win. It had kind of a couple of rough losses. What's the feeling like? Is it special to kind of get back in the win column?
Yeah, obviously winning's better than losing, but after the last couple of years I've had, it's probably feels extra special to kind of get back to my old self and the ways that I like to finish fights.
Looked like you were shaking out your hand a little bit after the fight. Broken or just?
I don't think it's broken. I think right at the end there I was kind of hitting him at a different angle and might have sprained my thumb or something, but nothing. Cold beer won't help.
Nice. I did see a little bit of sentiment out there. Some people saying, boy, what a great note this would be for Dan to walk out on. And I know you said you wanted to prove to people that you still had it. Any thought at all saying, yeah, that'd be a great way to walk out?
Yeah, I would. But, I guess I'll have to do that in the next couple fights also.
Last thing for you, Dan, what is next for you? Is it 185? Is it 205? Or does it just matter the name?
Yeah, it doesn't matter. I mean, it's always nicer to fight lighter guys, but it's always fun to not cut weight and eat up to weigh-in. So, whatever, it doesn't matter to me. I'm just enjoying the sport and still beating the top guys. So.
Thanks, Dan. For Ben, if I could, Ben, got to ask you about your inspiration, the laugh and the moves in there tonight. Was that something that just kind of took over you, or is that like a character or an inspiration you had? Where was that come from?
I guess you got to make some noise, right? I got to get people to pay attention. When you say inspiration, I think a lot of it comes from the writers right now in MMA. Constantly, I just feel like I'm overlooked and I'm not getting any respect. Again, I was an underdog again tonight, almost on the writers column. Everybody picked Matreon. Again, I'm kind of getting used to it. I like it. Keep making me the underdog. I like putting loss on your guys' your picks there. And I think for the next fights that I want, I'm going to continue to be the underdog, and that's just fine with me because as you can see, it doesn't make a difference.
You mentioned that the only thing that could hold you back is politics. Do you feel like you've been a victim of that? Have politics slowed you down in the past?
No. My performances have slowed me down in the past. Now, I think I've made a case for myself. Things are different. 3-fight win streak, 3 finishes. And I think it's time we make something happen and let me fight one of these top guys. And I think, I know the championship happens next weekend or whatever it is. I think Stipe's built a good case. I think he should have the next challenge. And I think Andre Arlovski and I should dance. I mean, he's ranked 4th, and some people are already talking about him getting the next title shot. So I think him and I should fight next. And I know he's in a little bit of an injury, so he's going to take some time off. I'll be ready for him when he is.
Thanks, man.
Next.
Okay.
Okay. Well, my question's for Sean. While you were at LSU, you had some big fight games in New Orleans. You're used to winning here. Just talk a little bit about coming back here and getting a victory.
Great feeling coming back down into Louisiana and competing. The fan welcoming me and screaming out, being loud was kind of reminiscent of my days at LSU and playing, running out in Tiger Stadium. Excuse me. But it's always nice to be, in the UFC we're here to win, so it's nice to win fights wherever we're at. But it's really nice to be able to do it at home and be able to sit in my own bed tomorrow.
All right, and then talk to me a little bit about the way you won. I know that high kick sort of seemed to come out of nowhere, but just talk to me. It seemed like he was throwing a lot of kicks, and did you see any kind of irony that you ended up kind of winning off of that?
Well, see, he threw his ninja kick. So then you bring back my Shawn Michaels, super kick. So, I don't know. It just kind of happened. It was just timing, I guess.
All right. And then, Dustin, similar questions for you. Just talk to me a little bit about, fighting back in front of a very pro crowd. You looked very amped up out there.
Yeah, man. I love Louisiana. I'm just happy to be here. This whole week I've been having fun with my cornermen, showing them the culture out here, walking around, them eating all the good food. I'm watching them eat and drooling. But, of course, man, these are my people. These Bayou people are people I was raised up with, and I saw a lot of familiar faces in the crowd. It's an incredible feeling I had tonight.
All right. And then talk to me about how you dominated that fight. Did you expect it to be so one-sided?
Nah, this guy's a tough guy. He always comes to scrap. And, I hit him with some really hard shots, and he stayed on his feet. I thought I had him finished a couple times. He kept getting up. John stopped the fight. But this dude was tough. I expected a battle. I expected to get busted up a little bit, and I thought we were going to get fight of the night, really.
All right. And then lastly, where's that victory meal going to be at?
That victory meal, I'm getting a rental car in the morning. I'm driving straight home to Lafayette, not too far from here, and we boiling some crawfish.
Thank you.
Before we get to the next question, I just got a note that we just tied a record for the most first-round finishes with 7 tonight. That ties UFC 146, Ultimate Fight Night 32, UFN 14, and the Tough One finale. So again, just further proof of how exciting this night was.
Quick follow-up for Dustin, if I could. He missed weight. He didn't seem upset by it. I would think, with you moving up and, you'd feel like somebody was trying to have an advantage, but it didn't seem like you were disrespected at all. Why was that?
He came up to my room a couple hours before weigh-ins, him and his camp, and knocked on the door and was like, we're not going to make it. The last thing I wanted to do is disrespect you. Thanks for taking the fight, And I was like, I respect that coming up. And he came personally, talked to me like a man. And so it wasn't a surprise when we stepped on the scale. I knew he was going to miss. I thought he was going to be heavier, actually. So, but it's all good. I train with big guys, and I cut a good bit of weight for 55 still. So, he didn't feel too big in there.
Thanks, Dustin. For Cisco, if I could, obviously you campaigned for a bonus, didn't work out, but a great night of fights. What's your feeling? What were you thinking in the locker room as you were watching fight after fight after fight?
It's crazy. I have the worst luck in the UFC, officially the worst luck in the UFC. I can't catch a break, it sucks, but, it is what it is. I'm happy with my performance. I'm happy with the knockout, and that's all that matters. I got that win.
It seemed like it was a pretty emotional win for you, too. Was there something going on behind the scenes?
Yeah, for this camp, my mom moved back up to Arizona, so, she usually watches my kids during training camp, and I see them when I come home and when I wake up. But this time I had they had to spend time with their mom, and wasn't able to see him for the last 3 weeks of training camp, and it was really hard for me.
We spoke earlier in the week. You said you wanted to get a big win and then book a rematch with Uriah Faber. Is that still the focus right now?
I would like to get that rematch. I felt like I was winning that fight against him, and it's unfortunate what happened. But, if the UFC makes it happen, let's do it.
Thank you. If I could, for Anthony, you said this was a dream come true. I'm curious, is it just because it's a UFC win? Was there something specifically about it? Why is it so special to you?
It was special because this was supposed to happen at UFC 177, and we were both champions coming in from different organizations, and I kind of felt slighted that he got, pulled up and I didn't. And I think tonight my performance kind of showed that maybe, it could have gone either way. It would have been a good fight, So I think just looking at the New Orleans crowd really was a surreal moment, and seeing my coaches and stuff, and just thinking about, like Cisco said, being away from the kids, and it was a dream come true to get my first win in the UFC over a guy that was ranked top 15.
And the quotes that we got from the UFC afterwards, it said that you wanted to fight Aljamain Sterling. Why is that a fight that makes sense for you?
Stylistically, I think we're just fun. He's a funky wrestler. I'm a funky wrestler. We both got some dynamic striking. we've gone back and forth on Twitter, not maliciously, of course, just but this is if it was a foot race, I'd race Cisco or I'd race Caceres, and that's all we're here to do is just race, right? So.
Thank you. And if I could just briefly for Brian, obviously, you're coming back from a suspension. You apologized right away for what happened. What's this past year been like for you?
This past year's been great. I've matured a lot, and I learned not to do stupid mistakes again, There's, like I told the UFC, there's always something that, there's always some story, and I don't want to say the story. I just rather take full responsibility, and tonight was the way I can show that I'm back, and it was just a stupid mistake. It was never meant to, do something dumb like that, but I take full responsibility, and this is the future from now on.
Fantastic. And do you feel like this is the type of performance that now you can really build a reputation off of and maybe kind of erase the mistakes that you did make?
Yeah, I felt like they gave me, I had another opponent scheduled for June 27th in Brazil, which was going to give me a nice, 2-month training camp. But when they said to fight Chad with Tavares, it was a big name, and I figured that, this would be the opportunity to come back, fight a bigger name, someone crazier, stronger, who's been in the UFC 16 times. This was his 16th appearance, and do it the way I did. And now it's just I wanted to make a statement, and I feel that I have done that tonight.
How did you have it scored going to the third? Did you in your corner think you were up? It looked like it was all over the board. The judges had it.
And I know I was down. You know what I'm saying? But we pulled that victory out. After I got clipped in the privates and. And it hurt, I'm not gonna lie. But then I seen him resting, so I said, let's keep going. I said, I'm hurt, he's more tired. So I went in there and banged it out and won Savage style.
Any more questions? Okay, well then I'd like to thank everyone. Remember, next Saturday, June 13th, from Mexico City, we'll have UFC 188, which will be Velasquez versus Verdum, a chance to unify the UFC heavyweight title. So tune in for that. And again, thank you all for coming out tonight.